Hello and welcome to another Matchday Live as Oxford United take on Lincoln City. I'm joined by Kath, and we're going to talk about the lineup today. So there it is.
Move this way.
Right, okay. So back four, as it has been, obviously Stevens in goal, but then the four just in front. Hansen stays at right back. He's been fairly solid since he came in.
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job. He's very steady, certainly. Potentially doesn't have that forward game, which we've spoken of previously, that Long has been able to add, but that's understandable, especially how long Joe's been out of the setup. But I think we're seeing the advantages of a player having a run of games now and actually getting minutes under the belt.
Yeah, and I said last time about him having the Gandalf kind of you cannot pass type thing about him. And if anyone was wondering, that's from the book, not the film, because it shall not in the film. But, you know, he improv'd it.
Nobody cares.
No. Right. So just in front, Gorin's not in the starting 11, but Brannigan is in that slot. Now, we've seen that a few times this season, particularly in a more attacking situation. You can put him there, and then he's got a range of passing. He's got a good footballing brain, but he's still solid like Gorin is.
Yeah, I think it's probably the chance for us to go forward a little bit more. I think handbrake off is
that's definitely the phrase of the month.
Yeah,
isn't it?
the phrase that the gaffer's used. And I think putting Cameron in that hole, it does give a much bigger range of passing, allows us to go forwards much quicker. Obviously, we'll know what you lose if A-Rod's not in the side, but Cam Brannigan in there, certainly, I mean, it's not like he lacks steel. If you want somebody who hates losing out of everybody in the squad, Cameron Brannigan is that man. So you're still getting that aspect of it. He might not be quite as good at sweeping up because he's more forward thinking. But yeah, he certainly adds a lot into that position. Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head. He doesn't love winning. He just hates losing. So just in front of him, there's Mark Sykes and James Henry back in the side. That, with his experience and ability, has to be positive, having him back for the running.
Yeah, I think, even Jamo's maybe not been on as good a form as he's been in the past few years, but even slightly off form, he still brings so much to the squad. And I really like him paired with somebody like a Mark Sykes, because Sykes is that player who, flutters about. He's got a lot of pace to him. And Jamo himself would admit he maybe doesn't have that pace, but he's got that now, so he can pick holes, I think, possibly better than anybody else in our squad, maybe, that he's got a vision about him. And I think we'll go on to talk about the rest of the squad, that there certainly doesn't lack pace. We don't lose that from Jamo being into that starting 11.
Yeah, and as you say, I think they sort of complement each other well, because Sykes has a lot of energy and a lot of ability, but doesn't necessarily have that experience. And James Henry will definitely be telling him the whole time, you need to do this, you need to do this. And it will be a great learning experience for him.
And he'll also work really well with Cameron Brannigan. If Brannigan does overlap and push forward, James Henry's got that experience of when to sit in. So I think we'll probably see that a little bit as well. But I think that's a really interesting middle three, and I look forward to seeing him. Certainly when you want a more attacking starting 11, then that's an interesting three to put in there. So.
Yeah, and three very passionate players who will cover each other as well. Then the two wingers, and I'm sure they'll swap several times throughout the day, are Barker and Shadipo. So that is the handbrake off thing that we've heard a lot.
Yeah, that is pure power. We've talked and pace. We've talked about potentially can they play together, because they're so forward thinking and less so in the reverse. But again, with a player like James Henry and Mark Sykes, they're both players who can play wide, so they know that job. If one of the wingers gets caught higher up the pitch, I think we'll probably see those two split wide and a little bit deeper to be able to cover. But yeah, you couldn't ask for more pace out there, and get crosses in the box, feed the striker.
Well, yeah, and Matty Taylor, who a couple of games ago sort of broke that duck and is back scoring. So. And actually, Lincoln was that first goal when he joined us, so it would be good to see that continue.
Yeah, I remember in that 6-0 game that it was just talk of at 5. The only thing that could make this better now is a Matt Taylor goal, and then the easiest of finishes. He couldn't have dreamed of an easier chance. And then that really sparked him on a run in that season. And he's definitely he's a player who we've seen, he goes on droughts. He'll keep working. He's a very passionate player, but when he gets his goals, he gets them in twos and regularly. So hopefully he broke the duck a couple of games ago, and now we'll start to see him get a few more. And as I say, with those two players on the wings getting balls into the box, we've got attacking midfielders getting on the edge of the box. It's a slightly different way for us playing. We're not always a team that will get it wide and get crosses in, but I think that lineup does set itself up well to it.
Yeah, and then on the bench, we have Simon Eastwood, Sam Winnall, Anthony Ford, Dan Adjie. I've started saying full names, and that's risky just in case I come out. So I'm going to stop that now and just say Grayson, Kelly, and Chambers Parallon. Although I do know those. Remember? No, I do know them all. Liam, Leon, and Joe. So anyway, when I say squad players, I don't mean less able than first teamers. I mean, with Chambers, Parallon, Kelly, Ford, Adjie, and Grayson, actually, they cover the pitch. They can play absolutely anywhere.
Yes, absolutely what you want from a bench. You've got cover for the defensive positions, but you've also got players that can change a game in different ways to come on. And that certainly with, as we say, the raw pace that we've got out there, that's something we might need. And again, lots of different ways that starting 11 can change if Carl needs to make subs.
So it'll be an interesting game. It's one of those things when you play sort of a slightly different style than what you normally do. It can be something that we've seen Carl Robinson change the way that they play 4 or 5 times in a single game. Could be one of those. It could just be something that, like with Doncaster, just clicks straight away.
Yeah, and I think with lots been spoken about the run of games we've been on in the Saturday, Tuesday from however long ago it was before Christmas, that this is kind of the last one of that run. And this is the one to go, we need to change it up. They've maybe looked a little bit tired mentally as well as physically in the last few games, which is absolutely to be expected in a crazy season like this. But maybe just tweaking things a little bit can give them a bit more of a spark.
And obviously they're a very different side, but that's something Man City are doing as well. You can see that at all levels of the game.
I love you get a comparison.
They're keeping 5 or 6 players solid throughout and changing the other 5 or 6, and that is pretty much what we're doing. Obviously, in runs where we win 9 in a row, it's genius. And then as soon as you get a few draws in there, it is what it is.
But hopefully we can start another run tonight.
Exactly. And that's what we're all hoping for. Now, during the week, Chris Williams spoke to Dan Adjie.
How are we doing, Dan? You right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Tuesday against Northampton.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was frustrating, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really frustrating, I mean, we didn't play the best, but I think first half we were okay and we had chances, and another day we killed that off and we score, the Robert Atkinson header, and another day once we're 1-0 up or 2-0 up, we kill off the game. Yeah.
We did score Rob Atkinson's header. We did score. It was so far over the line, it's untrue.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how the referee didn't see it, but these things happen, and we just have to move on and move forward.
Where does it leave us? I mean, we're only 3 points off the playoffs, aren't we?
Yeah. Even though we've lost, against Blackburn and Hampton, we're still in and around it, And if we just start winning again, and you never know. Football changes fast, and all we need to do is focus on what's ahead and what's forward. We've got 10 big games, 10 cup finals essentially, and all we have to do now is try and get as many points as we can.
See, if I'd offered you after 10 games of the season, we'll be 3 points off the playoffs with 10 to play, you'd have snapped my hand off.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the start that we had, if you offered it to us then, we'll say we'll take that. And
So I'm telling you, does it make any difference at all?
I mean,
you get a haircut, Dan. You
yeah.
Oh, you can't.
I don't know. I can. Yeah. Yeah.
Does it make any difference being on telly?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just gives the boys the extra motivation, and everyone wants to do well in front of the cameras, but ultimately we're here to do a job, and you know, we want to go further up the league, and it's a game that's important to us, and we know we need to go and deliver tomorrow.
The thing is, then, we don't have a midweek game next week. I think it's the first time since Christmas we've had a Tuesday without a game.
Yeah.
Physically, how are you feeling?
I mean, physically we're fine, you know. Obviously, it can be tough at times during Saturday, Tuesday, but ultimately all the other teams are doing it as well. So and I think we're what I would say about us, we're quite fit. So I mean, it's good. Yeah.
I've just seen Shorty go out there with all sorts of equipment. The sports scientist. It's never dull, is it, with him in charge?
Oh yeah, never. I think right now for our warm up we're going to be doing like some.
I can see some. I can see a basketball court. I saw some like tango footballs that kids have. I'm going to come out and film it. Right. So
cheers. Thank you, man.
I absolutely love Dan Andrew. Anyway, I'm joined by Liam Gilbert. I definitely won't forget your name because
I wonder why.
Liam Potter isn't on, so we had to get another Liam involved. Right, so you are what's your title? Are you the manager or the first coach of the women's team?
The manager I've always seemed to go by, so yeah.
Okay.
First team manager.
One of the things I love about Oxford United at the moment is it's one club mentality. The style of play in particular is something, when I went to see the women's team earlier in the season, it's a very similar style, isn't it?
I believe so. I think we have similar philosophies that we want to be possession-based teams and try to control as much of the game as we can with the ball, as opposed to being a team that will allow the opposition to come onto us. It plays into the strengths that we've got within our squad, and it's the same for the men's team as well.
I should have warned you, the people in the box just behind me will be trying to put you off at some point.
Okay,
that
great.
happens throughout. Your season now, though, the league season is finished, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, our league season has been curtailed, which was not pleasant news, but it is what it is. And we've got an FA Cup game to look forward to next Sunday.
So when the season finished, you were second.
Yeah.
And there sort of things are being discussed in terms of how it will actually finish in terms of whether teams will move around, if the league structure will be the same. So you're kind of in limbo at the moment?
That's the best way to put it. Yeah, we've had no guidance from the FA in terms of what's going to happen, just that, well, pretty much what you've alluded to. There could be changes. There could not, for all we know. So we're waiting to find out what happens.
And in the meantime, you've got an FA Cup game. And let me get this right. So you play next weekend.
Yeah.
But you haven't been able to train. You're not allowed to train until Monday.
Yeah.
So you've got a week of training, and then you're playing against Cardiff, who, because they're in Wales, they've been able to train. So that'll be a challenge.
Yeah, it'd be adversity at its finest, shall we say. It'd be a very interesting challenge. To be fair to the girls, they've been fantastic. They've had home programs to do, and we've done some Zoom workouts, and I think we've had one or two miss them, and that's it. And it's been fantastic, and it probably sums up the group that we've got, how dedicated and how focused they are. And I think the bad news of the league being curtailed with the position we're in, I think would be fantastic ammo for the girls that will hopefully try and make up for the differences in training schedule.
Yeah. Have they been able to play any games over in Cardiff, or is it just the training?
Well, the Welsh League has restarted, so I'd imagine.
So possibly friendlies and that sort of thing. Fans can keep up on Twitter. Yeah, so that's good. What is after the FA Cup? If you go out, is it just sit and wait?
Yeah, sit and wait is as from an official point of view, but given the girls have worked so hard, we've got some friendly matches lined up, so that we'll play some games up until probably the end of May, just so that they get a decent amount of football matches in for this year.
Before they go nuts with barbecues and pubs like everyone else.
As the rest of us will as well, yeah.
What sort of got you personally into management? I didn't tell you I was going to ask that. I just thought I'd throw you in the deep end.
It just seems to have been a pathway I've gone. I've always coached ever since I could, really, since I was about 16. I've always helped out with the team, and I just sort of gravitated to this type of position. And I enjoy this position a lot because you get to look at more than just what's going on in the training pitch. You get to plan how the team's going to prepare, how the team's going to work, and then I'm really lucky to have a fantastic staff that I work with and plan how they do stuff and what we want to do to get towards our end goal.
How many times does your assistant, Kath Faulkner, mention that she captained and scored 6 goals for Oxford?
On a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Which one would you want to know?
I imagine you get texts during the night and stuff. Yeah, she's great to work with, and and got a very good eye for football. She watches it differently to me, probably in a similar way to you do. From a management point of view, you have to look at a game in a completely different way, don't you?
Yeah, you can't just follow the ball around with the old match of the day highlights, if you like. No, Kath's brilliant. She's focused on her out of possession stuff this year, so she's responsible for a lot of the defensive work that we do, in whether that's in analysis or with some of the planning, which she's taking good steps on within her own development, which is great.
She also was working on one of the players with their headers, and I don't know how that works because Kath's only about 5 foot. But the game that I went to see, which was against Cardiff, that player scored with a header. So
it'll be Georgia, I think.
Yeah.
She's got about a foot on Kath as well, which always helps.
Right. Okay. So, what time is it at the weekend that people can check out Twitter and keep up to date with the score?
2:00 kickoff. And then live on our Twitter channel. I think the main account will be retweeted a lot of it as well.
Excellent. So make sure you look out for that. And thank you very much for joining me. Let's have a look at what else the club have been up to.
So last year, as you know, that I partnered up with Oxford to try and deliver some meals with my mum, which is an amazing feeling, which is a really small scale. It was just literally me doing some work as my role as a player ambassador in the community. And it kind of grew from there. Emily, who works here at Cherwell, she stayed in touch with me and said, Cash, can we continue this relationship, try and help people, especially during the pandemic where it's been so difficult for families. And ironically, I stayed in touch with Wembley Stadium, and the head chef there who supported last time, he basically said, listen, Cash, we might have an opportunity. And he said, unfortunately, 500,000 quality food items are potentially going to waste on waste management because of the England cancellation of the friendlies. And I said, mate, we have to do something with that food. And before you know it, within like 2 weeks or 10 days, we tried to turn this monster around. We partnered with Aldi to deliver 500,000, 500,000 meals across the UK. And obviously Oxford, being my home club here, was the first call to action. And Oxford, along with Villa, Liverpool, Everton, and London and West London, we've started to get these meals out with the clubs.
This will go a long way. Definitely into North Oxfordshire, certainly into sort of Cherwell, Kiddington, Vista, North Oxford. We're getting out there, and we're really helping the local community in such a positive way.
It's a unique project, in fact, that they provide people who perhaps are in a vulnerable position, but they also recycle food. So they try to. The whole purpose is to try to cut down waste. Obviously, we work closely with Football for Peace, and they basically got us and sent us lots of additional food that was going to waste at Wembley Stadium, so obviously we put it to good use. So it's a really brilliant project, and we're really, really pleased to be associated with it.
What's next for you? Is this just the start?
I thought it was a start in January, but I don't know. We've gone from a local delivery to 500,000, so I don't know. God willing, I don't know where this is going to take us.
And I'm joined by Peter Rose Brown. I didn't say club legend this time, but he is. Right, okay, so let's start with the commercial side of things. Who is the match sponsor?
Smith's Blettingen. Been involved with the club now for, goodness me, back in the Manor days. So I found an old programme from the mid-80s and they sponsored the game then. So Andrew Smith and the guys there, always involved with the club, box holders as well. So big supporters of the club, and they're going to enjoy tonight, I hope.
Yeah, I would have thought so. It's great to get new people involved, but when people stick with the club, I think it says a lot about the club as a whole.
I think so. It was. We always look for match sponsorships and different things, but these guys have always been on board, and the supporters will know that they've been on the season ticket cards for a number of years now. So it's that green logo, Smith Blettingen, and you see their lorries around the county. That you held up in traffic behind. Sorry, guys. But no, it's it's great. You're right. You know, it's all well and good having the new business, which is lovely, but these were new business about 30 odd years ago, and they've been very loyal to Oxford United.
So any newcomers that want to get involved, they can do, and they can stick around for 30, 40 years like these.
Yeah,
guys.
well, you generally, you look at around the stadium, look at the ad boards that we've sold and people around that. These are local businesses that have been with us for 1 or 2 years, but all of a sudden now it's 10 years. So it helps and it works, and well, it must work because they're still here, supporting us and getting benefit from it. So it's good.
Yeah, and that is, through thick and thin when we end up in the conference and they're still with us, and then actually go on again. And here they are. Other things, OUFC picks.
Yep.
You're not allowed to do it, but have you had a look at the questions?
I haven't, not today. I haven't had time today. Been a little bit busy, run off my feet. But give me a couple of questions then.
First half goals.
First half goals?
Yeah. Are we going to score in the first half?
Oh, definitely not. We're going to go midway through the first half. I think Shadipo's going to score.
Actually, last time you were on was just before the Doncaster game. You said last time you said that Matty would score, but he
needed a tap in.
But he didn't. And so this time you'll say that he won't, but all he needs is a tap in, and then he'll score, a few.
Yeah.
He got the tap in. He then scored another one.
Yeah.
You said you fancied us from set pieces,
yeah.
And we scored that second one was from a set piece.
And
then you said instead of trying to score the perfect goal, we need those tap ins, and then we'll get a great goal. And the third goal was an absolutely cracking finish.
And your point is what? Because
so tell us exactly what's going to happen, and then give me 6 numbers from 1 to 49.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I think it's going to be they're going to be playing out from the back like MK Dons did, Doncaster did. We've got to press high. That's why we've got the boys in midfield there. We've got a side sheet to press. You've got
Brannigan closes down when
one of the three, James Henry, one of them's got to sit, and I think it'd be Cameron Brannigan sitting, so it'd be Sykes and James Henry, the two in midfield above him. But no, it's just a matter of just closing, working hard. And you've got the boys on the bench that can come out if need be second half if they're tired. So we're going to go 1-0 up at half time, and then they're going to create chances because that's what Michael Appleton does. Apparently someone's going to get a whooping according to Michael Appleton soon. Hope it's not going to be us. Hope it's them actually. So 1-0 up at half time. What else do you want to know?
How many corners are we going to have?
6 corners. 4 good delivery, 2 pony. Go on in.
And how many shots on target are Lincoln going to have?
How many shots on target Lincoln are going to have? I'm going to say, Mystic Meg says 5.
I don't think my heart can take 5.
5. But Jack's going to one for the cameras.
Actually, he's on a hat trick, isn't he? In terms of penalty saves.
Yes.
So I never want to concede a penalty, but if he can get
that
hat trick, that's really rare that sort of thing happens. So
if it happens, it happens. But I hope we don't concede a penalty. But yes, I'm looking at what have I predicted now?
I don't.
I'm going 2-0 us.
You're going 2-0.
One goal either half.
Excellent. Well, that'd be good. But leave it till the last minute just to keep it exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to keep it. No, we're good. The pitch is in good nick. Cameras are here. We hate the cameras, but the cameras are here. Supporters aren't here, which is so sad because they could get over. They would have got us over the line in a lot of the games we played. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I've said that to a few people. I think a few teams it hasn't affected so much, possibly because they're used to smaller crowds or less vocal crowds. Oxford United have a loud fan base that really get behind the team and as you say, get them over the line. Oh, we've got
that's my alarm. It's my alarm to be here.
Oh, okay, that's good.
That's my alarm to say that the kettle's boiled. I do apologise.
Right, that's absolutely fine. So you can see that it's live. Okay. How can people get involved if they want to, from a commercial point of view?
Basically, just email commercial@oufc.co.uk if you want anything about advertising or you want match sponsorships or anything, whether you're a one-man band or whether you're a multi-million business, we can look after you and get Oxford United supporters using your business.
Just before you go, as a player, well, as a fan, when you go to an evening game, it feels extra special. Does it as a player?
Yes. Yeah, we used to love playing at the Manor, night games. You've got your Arsenal games and your Man United games and your big games that we played in. You just seem to rise to the occasion. We used to love playing the night games. So let's hope that the boys are up for it tonight.
One thing you reminded me of just before we went on air was Lincoln are a couple of players down on the bench.
Yeah.
They have all tested negative COVID-wise, but just as a precaution, they're changing in a different area. Is just a precaution. It's absolutely fine. So if people see them coming out of a different entrance than we're used to, that's the only reason.
Most clubs do that anyway, but we've given them a bigger room to change in on the other side of the corridor. They're coming out a different entrance. It's strange because they're changing away from our players and whatever, but when they get on the pitch, they're going to be nice and close. Weird.
Yeah, it's the outdoor thing, isn't it? It's the outdoor. Right, well, thank you very much for joining. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your tea. Right, let's have a look at how the under-21s have been getting on.
Yes, Joe! Well done! Do it again!
And I'm joined by club historian Martin Brodetsky. Yes, my Nan is watching. Hello, Nan.
Hi, Nan.
Right, okay. So, playing against Lincoln, before we do the who was better, I'll go straight to the played for both.
Oh, no.
According to Wikipedia, who played more times for Lincoln? Was it Jack Payne, or I've actually managed to use him? I've been waiting to do this. Jefferson Louis.
I have to say Jack Payne. I'm sure Jefferson Louis made a very scant number of appearances for.
He got into double figures.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Jefferson Louis was 14, but Jack Payne was 23.
There you go.
So yeah, you got that one right. Well done.
Well, thank you.
Bino got his right.
Oh,
by the way.
Impressed.
And I've forgotten. Who we were even playing. So I can't remember the players at all. Right, I've got the stats up here. So let's have a look. Here's how we are against Lincoln.
What those stats don't show is what our home record is like against Lincoln, which will read 1-11 and lost 3. So we're better than them here anyway.
Okay. But as we've said many times,
doesn't
mean a thing.
Nope. It's all about what happens on the day.
And similarly, as we've seen a few times recently, it doesn't matter what happened earlier in the season. Obviously, we lost against Lincoln, but we lost to Doncaster, we beat them. We beat Northampton, we lost to them. So it's
especially this season, everything seems to be very topsy turvy.
Yeah. And there's our other thing about recent form.
Yeah.
Obviously, all the stats are similar because they look for them, but it's very similar in terms of form.
Yeah.
And there we are. You've got more played for both there as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln were top not that long ago, but they've only won one of the last 8 and have fallen away. whereas we're still hanging around on the very edge of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Our league position has dropped, even though our distance from the playoffs has been fairly constant for the last few weeks. So,
yes. Yeah, so I mean, anyone looking at sort of this is how many points we need and rah rah rah. Every season's different,
of course.
And I mean that is as extreme as I had a look at it recently. And some teams have gotten the playoffs with 67 points, and sometimes the autos have been 82, 83 points.
Yeah.
You know, it does swap and change. Sometimes you need 95 to be in the autos.
Right. Yeah.
So. But yes, other players who played for both. We've got Duffy, McLaren, Foster, and Green.
Yeah, you missed out one of the greatest Oxford players, possibly, is Trevor Hebbard.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember this far back, Bud Houghton.
I mean, how far back is that?
Late 50s, early 60s he played for Oxford. But he was a goal scorer extraordinaire. He holds the record number of goals scored in a season for Oxford United, or Headington as they were then, which is 46 goals in a season.
Wow.
So, and he was scoring, he was very prolific until he moved to, when he went to Southend after Oxford, so not that prolific after that.
Who is second on that list? How far clear is he with his 46?
That's a very good question.
No one knows. You can make it up if you like.
Yeah, I'll show you. He's not. I remember the season. I don't remember. I remember researching the season before he got his 46. There was another player. I can't remember who it was now. But Tony Jones, maybe. Anyway, who scored a lot. I mean, not quite.
So
40,
he
but 30
sort of beat his record to get the 46.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And no one's been it since. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's a very impressive amount of goals.
It is.
Right. What have you brought along this time?
Copy of today's match programme. Eagle-eyed viewers will note that it's a slightly smaller than the last one. We've gone from B4 to A4.
I was going to say.
Yeah. Purely because the printing costs were exorbitant at B4, because they need the same amount of paper that gets two of these, we're going to get one B4. So the printing costs were pretty much double what we're going to pay for this. So, but still full of really good content, obviously.
Yeah.
This particular one, I have to say, if you want a copy, you obviously email program@oufc.co.uk and ask me kindly for one. But there's very, very few left. And by very few, I mean we're in single figures.
Wow.
So if you want one, get there soon. It's first come, first served. And but if you don't want one, then it doesn't really matter.
Or they're available as e-programs.
They're available online at www.matchdayfix.com/OUFC.
How much are they as an e-program?
Same
exactly
price,
the same,
same
but you
price.
don't have the postage.
You have the postage cost. Exactly. It's £3 for the e-program.
Okay. Right. Okay. Can't watch in iFollow unless you're a season ticket holder.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, it is on Sky.
It is.
So
but, obviously, not everyone has a Sky subscription. So.
No, but you can listen to it on Radio Oxford. You can keep
Radio
up to date on Twitter. Who will be doing the Twitter?
I can't possibly think. If there's any errors in there, they're either deliberate or someone else did it.
Yeah. It's Freudian slips, isn't it? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Instagram-wise, I'll be doing some things whenever there's a goal, or at halftime, at full-time, I'll update things then. Liam Potter will be around doing the moments you missed, and Chris Williams will be writing the match report, so that'll be available.
I'll be
on
correcting it before it goes live.
You're the spell check, are you?
Sorry.
Right, what we're going to finish with is a Lincoln Rewind. I bet you can't guess which Lincoln Rewind we're going to choose.
I'm possibly thinking it was the record.
It was the record.
The first ever game we played at home at the Manor in the Football League was in 1962 when we beat Lincoln 2-1.
It is a different record.
Different record.
It is the record away win, which is Lincoln 0, Oxford United 6. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.